Alright, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to my power, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone, rule well, and salutations to you brothers all across the four winds who are bringing out this truth in sincerity and in faith. Call halal Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash, Barakatham, to the sincere and hopeful elect. There is a mandatory implementation of microchips in employees, ? UK government says it would likely be illegal. All right. So this is one of the reasons why the EU is trying to keep Britain within its ranks so heavily, because the mark of the beast is going to be implemented on a worldwide governmental scale. Okay. You're not going to go to Arkansas, the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, and have somebody saying, hey, we're going to start passing out the chip. No, this is going to be from like the top down. This is going to be like this is going to be directly sanctioned, right, by the world governments. So here you are, you got the chip right here, man. And everybody out here teaching that the mark of the beast is not the microchip. Right? If you teaching that the mark of the beast is not the Rfid microchip, you a fucking fool, man. This is based out of London. It sounds like the stuff of eschatological literature. There go Esau with them fancy ass words. Eschatological literature, but the idea of companies forcibly implanting their employees with microchips is making waves in Britain, although the government says it doubts the practice would be legal. Right? So you got these people that are saying that the implementation of the mark of the beast would be illegal. Well, if they create legislation that would pass a mark of the beast chip, well, then you could just bypass all of that. Hell, they could even say, the UN could turn around and say, hey, under international law, you must take the chip. So all that microchip is illegal. All that shit is out the window, because they're going to push that chip. In recent years, companies marketing microchip implants have touted them as a convenient shortcut to many routine tasks. Employing the same technology used in contactless credit cards, the tiny device is generally implanted in a worker's hand and can be used for such things as opening doors or turning on devices. And see, the guise is that it's going to be a simple use thing. If you lost your keys, you can use the chip to open up your car. But here's where where it gets elaborate. You see, and as men of the Lord, it's our job to envision the future. You know what I mean? And the Spirit has led me to believe that, no man is going to be able to buy or sell without this chip. Just like the scriptures say. This is not a spiritual mark. This is a physical chip that is going to go in most of Jake's hand, because most of Jake is going to take the chip. It's a fact. You know what I mean? And that's why you have these guys out here saying that the mark of the beast is a spiritual mark. That's not true. That is false, right? Because you can see them talking about it. You can see them talking about the microchip right here. It says, but groups in Britain ranging from the Confederation of Business Industry to the Trades Union Congress have spoken out against the prospect of companies forcing implants on employees, a step that could facilitate constant monitoring, because they know that once you get that chip implanted in you, they're going to know your whereabouts. They're going to know exactly where you are. They're going to know your banking information. They're going to know your medical information. They're going to know what you're allergic to. They're going to know your family members. They're going to know who you are. They're going to know what family you come from. Hell, you know what I mean? They're going to know if you're an Israelite or not. You know what I mean? Like a lot of these Israelite groups that take the chip, right? Like ISUPK, IUIC, and all them. You know how they talk about the mark of the beast isn't the chip. So a lot of them are going to take the chip, and when they do, the information inside the chip is going to tell them, hey, this is a dissident. This is somebody who is a terror to the public. So even you guys that take the chip, man, eventually the chip is going to get cut off. You're not going to have any monetary funds. You know what I mean? Even the taxes, when they do tax returns, the tax returns are going to be through the chip. You know, and that's part of being a man of the Lord, is understanding these things have to take place. Even if you work at a particular company, you won't even be able to come inside without the chip. You know, certain businesses, like, hey, it could be even a place like Target or something. Hey, you can't enter Target unless you got the chip. And they're going to say, oh, it's for security purposes. We need to know who's inside of the store at what time, you know, because we've had mass shootings and other things. So order out of chaos, you know, and that's one of the key things that Esau uses. He'll create a bad situation and he'll profit from that. You know what I mean? Because there's going to be a lot of materials that are going to be needed in order to produce this chip. I can imagine mercury. I can imagine glass. I can imagine certain metals that are going to need to be mined and manufactured on a wide scale, right? In order for this chip to be implemented on a worldwide scale. You know what I mean? Because it's a worldwide thing. Everybody is going to take after this chip, man. Everybody's going to take after the chip. Everybody from America all the way to Africa, man, they're gonna take the chip. He just talks about Sweden here. It says Sweden has reportedly become the center of microchip use, and man, Esau is real wicked out there, man. It's real wicked vibration out there in Sweden. It says that implant parties, where friends group up to have microchips implanted, are reportedly taking place. Oh man. And the name is called biohacks. That inserts the chip so you can get your chip hacked. You may have, and by the way, you know, the Spirit has also led me to know this, that if we have the chip implemented, or when we have the chip implemented here in America, right? The US dollar isn't going to be on the chip. Everything is going to be by credits, right? So when you get paid, you'll get 800 credits. Right? It won't be 800 US dollars. It'll be 800 credits. So them credits can be hacked. They can be distributed. You can have your whole account stolen. You know, they may say, hey, your chip got hacked. You know, people are going to, commit suicide because they no longer have money in the system that they trusted in. It failed them. You know. So it says that there aren't any cases being brought to test the legal position. So that means basically there is no legal position. If they want to, right, which they will, they're going to bypass every single law humanly possible. This is Esau's law anyways. So the simple fact of the matter is there's nothing that we're going to be able to do to stop this chip from being implemented. It says it is likely to be difficult for a company to show that such a practice complied with privacy laws or health and safety requirements. All that OSHA, all the OSHA requirements, and that's going out the window. Everybody's going to be able to access and read your chip openly. If you go to the doctor, every single doctor is going to be able to look at your particular medical information. That confidentiality clause is going to go right out of the window. If you have a certain, if you're divorced, it'll show on the chip. Hey, this guy just got into a divorce recently, and they're going to process that information on the chip. So whenever you get scanned, they're going to say, hey, this guy is 35, he's divorced, da-da-da-da-da. Everything's going to be on the chip, man. So this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 14. And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, right? So that's that legislation that they're going to pass in order to pull this shit off. Saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by a sword and did live. Because people are going to constantly try to come up against this. But ultimately, the chip is going to be implemented. Verse 15, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So if you don't take the mark of the beast, you're going to be killed, man. Plain and simple. Plain and simple, man. And it says, and he causeth all, right? And that's all. That's everybody, both small and great, right? So even if you dig ditches or you're a CEO, you're going to take it. Rich and poor, so no matter how rich you are, and you best believe the Rothschilds aren't going to take the shit, man. Rothschilds aren't going to take the shit, man. But he's going to have you take the shit. So it says rich and poor, free and bond. So everybody that's quote unquote free, that is not incarcerated, and everybody that is in jail. In fact, I believe that the people that are in jail are going to be shipped before anybody else to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, that's direct. You're going to receive a mark in your right hand or in your forehead. That doesn't mean anything spiritual. It means a physical mark. It says 17, in that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And all that's going to be implemented into the chip, the radio frequency device, the numbers that are used in order to hold the information, you know, those ones and zeros, right? Those ones and zeros, whatever it is going to be the number of his name. And it's going to be the mark. It's literally the mark of this beast system. This is verse 18. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Now a score is 20. So 3 times 20, right? It's obviously 60. 600, right? And 6. So that's 666. Right? That's it. And you know, you got Esau always talking about, well, scholars say that the real number of the beast is 616. Hey, forget all that. Mark of the beast is 666. The Rfid microchip is the mark of the beast, and it's going to be pushed on everybody. Now, not all of us are finna take it. I'm not going to take it. If I got to get my head chopped off, if I got to get decapitated for Hamashiach Yahweh's sake, then so be it. I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter to me. It don't matter to the hopeful elect. You know what I mean? And I'm going to tell my family, and I'm going to tell everybody I can, don't take the chip. But most of us are finna take the chip, man. Because a lot of these people, man, they want food. I would rather starve to death. It's no way I'm taking the chip. And that's how, if you're an elect man of the Most High, man, you won't take the chip. Because if you take the chip, that's it. Your soul is done. Your soul is done for. You cannot be saved. You're done. If you take the chip, you're instantly 2/3. There ain't no getting out of it. You know what I mean? This is Revelation chapter 14, verse 1. And lo, Salakia, and I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Zion, and with him 144,000, having his father's name written in their foreheads. All right. So that lamb was Yahushua. And John was seeing when Yahushua in the elect come into their full glory, right? And it says, I heard a voice from heaven as the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps, all right? And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the 4 beasts and the elders. And no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. So these are people that are going to be called to election. Some of these people are dead, but the last men that are being processed, that process is happening right now. Because we're being redeemed from the earth, we're being bought. You know what I mean? Because if Israel was an army, the 144,000 would be the Navy SEALs. All the money, all the resources are put into them in order for the mission to go well. And the Lord is going to directly put the powers of Yahushua HaMashiach onto those 144,000 men. It's going to be like you get the powers that we always should have had. You know what I mean? Verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women. So that's those other philosophies. You know, you weren't looking into the Hindu and all that other shit. It says, for they are virgin. So that doesn't mean that if you lost your virginity, you're not going to be the 144,000. That means the people that didn't get swayed by these other philosophies. These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. So when the Lord first made this place, you know, he made Yahushua, and then he made the 144,000, right? So we were, you know, in Ratazah, Lord's will, you know, I was part of that number, you know what I mean? And I'm just coming back in my last generation to serve my last punishment, you know, so to speak. This is verse 5. And in their mouth was found no guile. All right, so they weren't speaking any off doctrine, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth, and to every nation, and kindred, and tongue, and people. Right? Saying with a loud voice, fear Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment is come, and worship him that made heaven, and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, so that's America, is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And all these nations, man, want to be just like America. You know what I mean? They want to be just like America. And for that, you know, the whole world has to pay, man. All these heathen nations, these Edomites included, you know, they got to pay. It says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. So you're gonna get the whole ass whipping. If you take that chip, the Lord will have no mercy on you. There will be, you know, and I'm just gonna say this, and I'm in the video. But once you take that chip, man, strange things are gonna start happening. Birds will start to fly out of the sky and attack you. You know what I mean? The ants, man, the ants that roam upon this earth, the ants are going to gather in large masses, attacking, killing people. People won't be going to the beach, man, because the animals will be attacking them, much like how they are now. There's more shark attacks now recently than ever, man, because the Lord is putting spirits on these animals to attack. If you go on these websites, there's been a lot of dog attacks, man. Dogs have just been tearing up women with children. You know, there's a video online. There's this lady, and she's just getting tore up by this dog. You know, because the spirit of vengeance is coming on these animals through Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. So when he talks about that cup of indignation, he means all the plagues, man, the plagues of Egypt, you know, all the plagues of old, they're going to come upon here, this place, Babylon, right? And all over the world, for that matter, in ways that you have never seen. We are going to see people literally get killed, mauled to death by animals, just because they took the chip. You may take the chip and things may be fine for the first 2 weeks. Then all of a sudden, you know, you wake up, you got cancer on the brain. You know what I mean? Just because the Lord did that. He just sanctified that. He sanctioned that. You know what I'm saying? He said, okay, he took the chip, so death is going to come upon him. And everybody that takes the chip, man, if I could tell anybody, all of Israel, do not take the chip, man. They keep on trying to say that the chip isn't the mark of the beast. It is the mark of the beast. Don't let these deceivers fool you, man. Because a lot of these guys, you know, you watch their videos in the beginning, then they start going off, so you don't fool with them anymore. If you're watching a guy's video and his doctrine is off, unsubscribe. You know, unsubscribe from him. Don't even deal with him, man, because the time is getting too short for the hopeful elect to keep making these mistakes, man. So hopefully that was edifying. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakakwadash, and shalom to the hopeful elect.